These are my first impressions for the Quest 5 by Nike. Throughout the video, I'll give you my thoughts on the shoe so far, when wearing them while running, training, and casually. The Quest 5 released at some point during the summer, and the shoe retails for $80 US. This is a $5 increase from last year's Quest 4, and this is yet another 2022 version of a Nike shoe that has had a price increase. Even with the price increase though, it seems like the price is worth it for the experience you get. I did buy these in US size 11, and I can confirm that these fit true to size, and the best part is that these are a bit wider than the Quest 4, and this made the shoe feel really roomy and comfortable, especially while running. This extra room combined with the curvature of the midsole made my strides feel more natural whenever they hit the ground. I was a bit surprised by this extra space though, since the shoe kept some elements at the upper from the Quest 4, especially at the toe box and tongue. The midfoot is still a bit more narrow however, but it wasn't an uncomfortable type of narrow, it was more of a more secure midfoot type of narrow. And this is possible thanks to the bands located at the midfoot that work with the laces to adjust the shoe to your feet. This is one of the major changes from the last version, as the Quest 4 had flywire cables for the same purpose. These bands though seem to mold the shoe around your foot a bit more accurately, and they create a better experience because of this. I do have to say that this Quest 5 takes a few wears to break in, as the first couple of times wearing it, the shoes made my feet feel a bit tired and a tad uncomfortable. Also, the padding around the collar and right next to the tongue felt like it was getting in the way and created a bit of discomfort at the ankle. This also went away after wearing the shoes a couple of times, and the fit at the collar became a bit more loose and comfortable. Do keep in mind that this Quest 5 doesn't have any additional lace hoops, so the fit that you get out of the box will not be adjustable. The foam at the midsole is very cushioned, and it's definitely an upgrade from last year. Well, the entire shoe feels like an upgrade, but this softer foam combined with the curvature of the midsole made my running form feel smoother and more natural. Since the foam is more cushioned and less rigid than last year, it does mean you get a bit less stability but really good impact reduction. This impact reduction was also noticeable while training, especially with jumping exercises, which made it easier to put a little bit more effort into the landing without thinking of hurting my feet. The energy return however wasn't quite there, since the foam is not as responsive or springy by itself, and there are no air zoom units within the midsole. The shape / curvature of the midsole though definitely plays a role into your form, and it could throw it off a bit since it's not as flat. The shoe still felt pretty good overall and useful for other types of exercises, and I think it could be a very decent shoe for the gym or other types of training even, but they're definitely a better option and more tailored for running. Casually they got the job done too, but my feet were definitely feeling a bit tired after wearing them and walking around with them for most of the day. So they are comfortable, and again a huge upgrade from the Quest 4, but I don't know that I would recommend them for longer periods of time. They did look okay with jeans, but it's hard to hide the sporty design for them, which will match better with more athletic or leisure outfits. Although I'm still hesitant about this colorway, as it feels like it would be hard to match since it's a very warm and attractive tone of blue. Even with my doubts about the colorway though, the shoe reminded me a lot of the Renew Ride 3. This because it provides an experience that feels fair and worth it for the price you're paying for it. And what I mean by this is that the shoe's not good or bad, it's just a great middle point. But regardless, it is still an overall better shoe than the Quest 4, so if you're considering which one to get between the two, definitely go for this one. But you can always watch my first impressions video for the Quest 4 to learn more about that shoe if you haven't already.